All right, Two Black, Two Strong, Mega Blast, Aziatikk, Blakk in the building, along with David Archie, my personal friend, man, for a long time. And this gentleman, man, we've been trying to get at each other for a good minute now, but he had time to come through tonight. So, David Archie, how you doing?
Doing good, man. It's always a pleasure to be here with you. You know, you've been out here a long time doing your thing, man, and I appreciate you continuing to keep grinding no matter what.
Okay.
Right? Got your whole family involved, brother.
Man, I'm gonna keep them involved, man. That's the only way I see to go, man, and keep them close to me, man. And you know, they keep me young, man. They keep me hip to what's going on in the young world.
I think that we can learn something from you, my brother. I think there's many of them out there can learn something from you. You know, having the family involved in business. Period.
Yes, sir. Yes,
that's
sir.
what it's really all about, you know, keeping the mind dedicated on the things that you're trying to accomplish and you're trying to do as a family.
Absolutely. Absolutely. Well, now you tell me, you told me that you got a case coming up.
Absolutely.
Right.
You know, 2 years ago, we had the Hinds County election. In the Hinds County election, in that particular election, in the primary, of course, you know, you have the governor's election, you elect the sheriff, you elect supervisors, you elect statewide seats, you know, for governors and state representatives, state senators, lieutenant governor, attorney general, all that kind of stuff, right?
Right.
That happened in August of 2023.
Right.
And so we filed an election contest because of the irregularities that was in my particular case, as well as perhaps corruption and fraud. We call it a high-tech heist that took place in my particular election. And,
Okay.
And so we lost on the circuit court level when we went to court in that September. I believe it was in October. We had a case to go before a judge, a special appointed judge, and he ruled in the Democratic Party favor and ruled, and we were suing all kind of folks. Mm-hmm. The Hinds County Democratic Party, we sued the guy that was running against me. We sued 3 or 4, 5 people, maybe 5 or 6.
Okay.
Circuit clerk and all.
Gotcha.
And so the ruling came out. It was one issue that was at the table. They filed a motion to say that we did not file our contest in time. We had to September the 7th at 5 p.m. to file our petition to file the contest, which is the petition to go to trial on that particular case of election corruption, fraud, and all that stuff, right?
Right.
But we had a cyber attack that day. You remember a couple of years ago, Hinds County had a cyber attack?
Yeah. Absolutely.
Shut everything down.
Gotcha.
Including the circuit clerk's office.
Right.
And so when you file or have a deadline and you go into an office to file and that office is closed, the lights are off, there is no employees, what is it for you to do? And so by law, by statute, they give you the very next day to handle your business if that office is closed.
Right.
Regardless of whether or not it was an emergency or they just made a decision to shut the office down. It does not matter. The state statutes say that you go into the next day. Well, when we went to court and went to trial for that particular case, the judge ruled in their favor that the office was open, and we know that the office was closed. And we appealed that case to the Mississippi Supreme Court. And the Mississippi Supreme Court ruled in our favor, saying that we had overwhelming evidence that office, the circuit clerk office, was closed on September the 7th. And that is what we're going back to trial on again tomorrow after 2 years. Long time.
What, other than that, what are they digging at? What, in other words, this is what I'm saying. It just seems like that they're always digging at David Archie. What what's the motive? What's the problem?
Well, so this is the real issues that face the people. And people don't know this about elected officials. And I'll share it with you. Most of the time, when they get in office, they sit there and they don't say much. They go along, they get along. They're not challenging the status quo, going against the grain to bring about change, trying to make it better for the community. It's all about self once you get there, so you don't lose your seat and create all kind of problems for the government itself and the people that you're supposed to be working along with. Well, if the people that you're working along with is not doing their job, and as you can see here in Hinds County, as you can see in Jackson, Mississippi, when it comes to illegal dumping, when it comes to cutting the grass, when it comes to abandoned houses and homes, when it comes to paving the road, when it comes to cleaning the ditches, when it comes to lighting up the street, when it comes to anything that bringing new businesses here to Jackson and Hinds County, none of that is happening fast enough for the people and the citizens of Hinds County. And so I spoke up and I spoke out against some of my colleagues by only trying to make contractors richer and our community poor, and as well as looking bad and doing bad. And that is what's happening to our community.
So now that they've, I don't know how how did you become, how did you end up losing the last election?
Man, we still trying to figure that out. Hey,
Okay.
listen, I ran against a guy he ran against me because I was in the seat that nobody never heard. I lost to Queens in this precinct that I've never lost before. I beat the incumbent, and I beat other folks at that precinct. Presidential Hills, Shady Oaks, Verdant Addition, where I grew up, Powell School, Walton School, Green Elementary, Collins Funeral Home on Northside Drive. They said that I lost that election. Well, when on the night of the election, man, we just sat there and we was all stung. Because if anybody was predicted to win, it was me and Supervisor Robert Graham. He represents Supervisor District 1, I represent Supervisor District 2.
Right.
And when those numbers came in, we knew immediately something had gone wrong, but we didn't know. But we got a call on the very next day. There was a young lady out of Yazoo City called me, and said, Mr. Archie, I know what happened to your election. You was robbed. They stole it from you.
Okay.
And then that's when we began to investigate, ballot box review, ballot box examination. We went through every piece of material there was in that election. And you know what we found first? We found that 18 of the 26 books that where people come in and give their driver's license and sign that book to go and vote, 18 of those books was completely missing. Completely. Nobody knows where they are, so they don't know who voted.
Well, let me ask you this. Do you ever think that Jackson will gather its acorns and things will be put on the proper table?
So Jackson not necessarily I'll put it like this. Jackson's biggest problem, and I'm going to just say it like this, is not white folks. Jackson's biggest problem is really not Republicans. Jackson problems is Democrats and people that don't want to be held accountable and responsible for which those positions that they sit in. And they think that they can just tell and lie to the constituents and lie to the people that are voting, go along to get along just to save their seat. But at the end of the day, when you go into Madison, when you go into Flowood, when you go into Pearl, you can see things happening. Now, they may be committing some of the same things that we're committing here, but at the end of the day, you see things getting done. You don't see homeless people knocking at your door. You don't see homeless people hanging out in the streets, riding their bikes, pushing baskets all around the place. Okay, I don't have anything against homeless people, but it's a place for everybody.
Right.
Right?
Right.
And there shouldn't be any loitering, and people ought to have a place to live. If there's mental illness, then the state of Mississippi needs to step in and help fix the mental illness problem. If there's a drug problem, Hinds County needs to step in and help fix the drug problem. And if there's a homeless problem, the city needs to step in to help fix the city problems. There's 3 entities of government that have came in now to eliminate those problems that we have in Jackson. Jackson can't do it by himself.
So what do you suggest? I mean, I asked this the last time we had an interview. You and I had a sit down. Mm-hmm. How can individuals help? And I've talked to some people about voter apathy and all of this type of stuff. The frustration is at an all-time high with everybody. Mm-hmm. Every time you turn on the TV, we got elected officials going at each other's throats. People, automatically going, shoot the problem that way. And some of these things that some of these officials are expected to do, they can't do. But the things that you're speaking on is the things that they can do that they won't. And pointing out these individuals, you've had time and time wrestles with this type of situation, and it's an ongoing thing. What are you asking of the people now?
I think the citizens need to do their homework. They need to find out whether or not the elected officials are benefiting their community, whether or not they're doing a good job, and whether or not their job is real and they're not shooting the okie-doke nor the bobo to the citizens.
How do they do that?
And what I mean by that is check the record. You go and find out and say, okay, let me see how many roads we'll just use the supervisors. Mm-hmm. That is one of the seats that I was in. Right. How many roads have that supervisor paved in 4 years in their district?
How do they do that?
You can go downtown to the Hinds County Board of Supervisors and ask for an open record on roads being paved in whatever district you live in.
And as of now, do we have anybody that's doing it?
Probably not.
Okay, people, you heard what the man just said. So somebody, I can't do it, but someone needs to dedicate themselves to exactly what he just said. That's a start, because that's what I'm here for. I'm here to find some solutions to this, because a lot of people ask me, and I don't know a damn thing about it. So when I'm bringing this man onto my platform, and hopefully y'all checking his show out, he talks about a lot of this stuff. But that's a problem there that can be starting, a solution that can start to be put in motion by going and checking on these things. Now, tell them one more time what you can do. You can go and check the public record.
Yeah, you can go and ask for open record on road paving in District 1, road paving in District 2, 3, 4, and 5.
And where do they go to for that?
To the Hinds County Board of Supervisors. You just go to the main office. It's in the Chancery Clerk office building where you get your tag, the Hinds County Tax Collector and Tax Assessor. Okay. It is on the bottom floor. When you walk in that door, you walk straight and you'll walk into that office. Okay. And tell them you want to place an open record on street paving. Okay. You want to place an open record on how much money has came to this county in a year, or you can say 2 years, and they have to give you that information. It is public information.
Now, is there a way that they can deny you this?
No.
Okay. All right.
No, they have to submit. I think they have somewhere like 14 days to get you that information.
Gotcha.
All right. And say if you want to check someone's record in terms of how much federal dollars that you have brought to Hinds County and how many federal dollars that you have actually brought to your district, meaning that like Mega Evers Boulevard, I was able to work with the city of Jackson and to help established to get $20 million for Medgar Evers Boulevard.
So you were the one that had that done.
Absolutely. The city actually had it done, but I'm the one that wrote the grant, prepared the information to submit it to Washington, D.C. When I first submitted it, Hinds County submitted it, they turned it down in Washington, D.C. And then the city of Jackson asked us to give them the information so they can apply. We spent about $80,000 to $90,000 on putting that plan together in order to get $20 million for Medgar Evers Boulevard. Yes, I went to, at that time, Charles Evers was living. I talked to Mayoral Evers. I talked to Rena Evers. They signed off. I sent them a letter. They signed off. I told them that we was trying to get Medgar Evers Boulevard done. Wanda Evers signed off on it as well. And I put a package together, did a design for Medgar Evers Boulevard, put all of that together, took about $80,000 and $90,000, and the city of Jackson was able to get about $20 million on the work that we started at Hinds County and that I was completely involved in putting that package together.
From where to where? Where did it start?
It's supposed to, Medgar Evers is supposed to be repaved, repaired, and fixed, design, new trees, new lighting, new sidewalks and curves from 5 Point all the way back to Northside Drive.
Gotcha.
5 Point all the way back to Northside
Now, they did some of it. They did a lot of it.
They have not completed it yet.
Okay. All right. Okay. Now,
There's a parking garage in the Fondren District. It's my understanding that the state of Mississippi did not want to do business with the city of Jackson. I went and met with the lieutenant governor, went and met with some of the House members and the senators for the state of Mississippi, and was able to get $20 million for a brand new parking garage in the Fondren District where you can use it during football games, or if it got real crowded in the Fondren, employees can park, people can get out of their cars, shop, eat, and drink. It's right behind the movie theater. Mm-hmm. $20 million.
Absolutely. I am familiar with that.
All right. And so I was able to do that down in the town of Bolton, Edwards, and Utica, which was in my area. I was able to get $500,000 for the town of Utica for beautification money, meaning, new grass, new signage, just new stuff to make the place look good. The same thing for the town of Bolton, $468,000 and $497,000 for the town of Edwards. That has never been done under no leadership of a supervisor in Hinds County, period, across the board. I was the first and only supervisor to go out and get beautification money for those small African-American towns.
Right.
Right? Black towns.
Right.
Everybody else was getting the money, but we wasn't getting it. And so I was able to go to D.C. and was able to work that out to get money for those small towns.
I want you to, on one of your shows, I'm requesting for you to explain to the people what's the proper procedure. What do y'all have to do in order to get money like that? We don't have to go into it right now, but I know a lot of people are interested in what procedures and what steps any city official, county official have to take in order to get funds.
It's
like
really
that.
simple. You got to identify what problem that you're having.
Mm-hmm.
Once you identify that problem, then you seek state government and federal government to see whether or not they have funds available. If you see that they have funds available for that particular problem that you're seeking, then you begin to fill that application out, write a grant, write a proposal, present it to those state senators, state legislators, House of Representatives, whoever for the state, and you ask them to give you money to fix that problem in your area. Mm-hmm. The same way on the federal level, you do the same thing. I was able to get $5 million for flooding in Presidential Hills. That had never been done.
How hard is something like that to do?
Well, it's not that difficult. You just have to get a group of folks that is on the same playing field, find out who in this country have gotten that kind of money for those kind of problems and kind of follow their lead.
Gotcha.
You just go and do what they have done in order to get that money.
Gotcha.
You can look at their entire application on how they fill the application, or if it's grant money, how they submitted their grant, what they submitted their grant based upon the whether it's flooding, whether it's cleaning, whatever it is, moving dirt, moving a bridge, fixing a bridge, whatever it is, you just take a look at it and say, okay, we need this in this part of town, we need this in that part of town, and get it done.
Gotcha. All right. Now, in the morning, I'm understanding that you have to be at the Hinds County Court.
That's correct. 10 a.m. in the morning.
10 a.m. in the morning, and this is open to the public as well, right?
Open to the public. We're asking people to show up. We're asking people to come so they can hear and see. We think that the Supreme Court has laid the foundation for our case in order for it to move forward. This particular case is only about whether or not the circuit clerk office was open or closed on September the 7th during the cyber attack.
Gotcha.
Once the judge ruled on that, if he ruled that that circuit clerk office was closed, then we'll be set for trial to go inside of the election itself when it comes to corruption, when it comes to irregularities, and when it comes to voter fraud. And that's where we're trying to get inside of the court, because there's a lot of that going on.
And that will be done tomorrow.
That'll be done tomorrow.
What can we expect from you tomorrow?
We have a very, very powerful case. We're going to prove that the circuit clerk office was closed. We got about 20 witnesses that is going to testify in this case. We have subpoenaed 16 or 17 witnesses. The other side have subpoenaed 3 or 4.
Gotcha.
Right? We have subpoenaed the Hinds County tax collector, the president of the Hinds County Board of Supervisors, the tax assessor, the circuit clerk, the former Hinds County administrator. So it's going to be a lot of powerful people tomorrow in Hinds County based upon one thing, whether or not that circuit clerk office was open or closed during that cyber attack, in which we submit that it was closed. In fact, we know it was closed because we was there. We tried to get in. Other folks tried to get in. And last but not least, we feel that once this is taken care of, the biggest picture and the eyes are going to be set on somebody coming in here from Detroit that people don't know. Coming in here from Detroit, running the election here in Hinds County, responsible for sitting and putting all the votes into the machine. They'll determine who win and who's going to lose.
Okay.
And we believe that we got enough information to prove that there's corruption, to prove that there's fraud, and to improve that there's irregularities in voting in Hinds County.
Now, is that why they're bringing somebody from Detroit?
I think so. I'm not going to put it on anybody else.
And do you think that's a good thing or a bad thing?
I think it's a bad thing. I think there are people here in this state, here in this city, that we can hold accountable. We can put our hands on those people, not somebody fly in to work elections. Can you imagine how much money they're paying people to come in here to work elections and to leave?
Have they given you any type of definite reason that they're doing that?
No, it's just that that company has been a part of Hinds County elections for a long time, and I think it's just time to get rid of that particular company. Okay. And we're going to put them on the witness stand.
All right. So we're asking people to come out in the morning, 10 a.m., right?
10 a.m. in the Hinds County Circuit Court, which is the very big gray building on Pascagoula Street, where you have the circuit clerk's office, where you have all the circuit court judges and the Hinds County judges, as well as the Hinds County Justice Court is in that building as well.
Are you going to be available for any words in the morning?
Absolutely. We're not running from anything.
All right. Do you want to do this before or after?
I may say a few words before. It depends on how busy we are, but if I plan on getting there pretty early in the morning. But I'm sure that it's going to be a lot of folks in and out of that courtroom because they want to see what took place and what happened.
After this this fight is over, what can we expect from David Archie? What are you going to be doing in the near future?
So I'm going to continue to be a civil rights activist, a community activist, now a political activist. A political activist is perhaps one of the strongest and the most powerful persons that are in politics. Why? Because they challenge the status quo. They don't go along just to get along. They go against the grain to bring about good changes. They get into good trouble to help fix what is bad in and around our community. Mm-hmm. They make the system say yes when they want to say no. They work the government to make absolutely sure that they are not denying us our constitutional right and our human rights. Mm-hmm. And that is what a political activist is supposed to be, and that is what I'm going to continue to do, fighting for the people.
One last question. Do you have any understudies or anybody you're training at this particular time to get into some of these positions at a young age? I think, sometimes we wait too late as parents, as leaders of the community, to get young people involved. I know we ask all of the time, but
that's a very good question. There was a young man that I was training, mm-hmm. but he's, of course, gotten a little older, and you may know him. He was working for Bing, Reverend Taylor, John Taylor.
Yeah.
He's a little bit younger, but
right.
Now we need to reach back and grab some guys in their early 20s.
Yeah, and
bring them on.
That's another thing that I wanted to. Well, that's what I'm here for. Getting these young people involved before they, I personally think that once a child has become a teenager and they get into their own lane, then you got a fight on your hands, and some of this can happen at a very, very early age. That's one of the reasons I keep my son so close to me. Now he's once he makes up his mind, he's able to choose his own path. But I'm going to put him on a lane that where if something else doesn't work, or he's very interested in staying in that lane, then he'll have the proper tools. And that's just one thing I want to put out there.
And I think that is needed. I think that we need to go into these universities that are near Jackson, Tougaloo, Jackson State, perhaps Belhaven or Millsap. They got some folks there that are interested in doing exactly what we do. But you got to take time to train them about what it is, the issues that matter to the community. Mm-hmm. You got to be able to not continue to blame government for what they're doing, but challenge government mm-hmm. for what they're doing.
Gotcha.
That's a big difference.
Absolutely.
See, you can sit there and blame folks all day long
right.
and not do anything.
Right.
But if you go out there and challenge them in terms of what they're doing and doing wrong, then you're going to open the door and make a difference and get them to say yes when they want to say no. Mm-hmm. But just blaming them is not going to get anything done. And so that's what we're doing each and every day. And I'm going to probably do it until I go to the grave.
All right. So he came through 10 a.m. tomorrow morning. It's going to be at the building down on Pascagoula.
Hinds County Courthouse.
All right. And y'all show up. Y'all want some questions. Y'all have some questions y'all want to ask Mr. Archie. You're free to do that. And if you got some things that you need to talk about, or some things that you need to put on him that you may think he can handle tomorrow morning, we're inviting the press, the public, everybody come down.
Let me just say this one thing, and that's
okay.
what I really want folks to understand.
Okay.
Your vote is your vote. And when you cast your vote, nobody have the right to control who and whenever you cast your vote for the candidate that you want to cast your vote for. If I cast your vote for you, I shouldn't end up with your vote. If 5 people come to the door and voted for you, then you ought to have 5 votes. How in the world do I end up with one nobody came through the door and voted for me? That is what's happening out there, man. Look, last but not least, the thumb drives that goes into the machine that calculate all the votes. Once you vote, it goes into that computer in the thumb drive. Nobody knew where the thumb drives were in my election. They supposed to have been locked up in the vault. Absolutely not. They wasn't. So I'm telling you that it's some fishy stuff is going on. We expect for someone from the Attorney General office to be there tomorrow. We expect for someone from the Secretary of State office to be there as well as tomorrow. They would probably perhaps be in that courtroom.
Okay. All right. Too Black, Too Strong, Mega Blast, Aziatikk, Blakk, Mr. David Archie. We'll see y'all the next time.
Thank you for having me.
Yes, sir.
Thank you.